Hey, all my Crimsonites, and welcome to the Crimson Cure channel, where we embrace our femininity, increase our womanly value, and celebrate our brothers. So join me on our feminine journey to learn, heal, and grow. Hey there, my Crimsonites, and welcome to the Crimson Cure channel. I'm your hostess, femininity coach, and author of the Crimson Cure, and this is my perspective. Okay, so this one has been going around the whole the segment with the wife and the guy and her husband was having like pretty much an existential moment about a spool of wire. He was sort of pontificating and he was ruminating on what that wire meant to him, only for his wife to sort of gaslight him about it and kind of make a joke out of it. Is like she missed the cue for his vulnerability and she did not respond properly to him at all. And you can sort of see him kind of look at her like, you know, I'm trying to communicate with you something serious, something that means something to me. I'm having sort of a sentimental moment. I'm thinking about things a little bit more deeply, and I'm sharing it with my wife, and you're so unable to read the room right now and read what's going on right now to the point where you completely missed it, and then you made like sort of an offhand joke, and it wasn't the time to do that. And she sort of like blew the moment with her husband, and then so they posted it. But then there were a lot of damage control videos that were posted, and I chose this lady here sort of summing it up because she kind of touches on each of the damage control videos that the wife put out, and then we end up seeing how it ended up, and then we're going to talk about this.
To this video where a man has a pretty poignant moment with a spool of wire where he realizes that he's had it for about 40 years and it's running out, and he kind of has this clash with mortality, only for his wife to kind of take the piss out of him by coming out and making fun of him for it. Well, the wife Cindy has responded, but she's only made things worse. So in this video, Cindy basically explains, you guys just don't have a sense of humor. Dan is fine. But the video is made even weirder because of the fact that Dan isn't even there, so all we have is her word to go off of. This video was not well received, with the top comment being, Dan is fine, and he will continue to be fine every time you ask him how he is from here on out. So then she sends Dan in to make a video, and this makes things even worse because somehow Dan ends up apologizing for all of this, saying that it was unfair for him to blindside his wife with that. Blink twice, Dan! I guess she managed to successfully convince him that if he wants to have an existential crisis, he's going to have to pencil it in on the family calendar ahead of time. It's just times like this, especially as the mother of a son, that I wish so many guys didn't fall for the whole happy wife, happy life, the wife is always right, just say sorry even if you didn't do anything wrong trope. Dan, you didn't do anything wrong. And Cindy, now you have to apologize to Dan twice. Recently, I covered this video where
I actually appreciate her coverage and this lady's perspective of the entire situation, because everybody saw the original clip of the man having that moment, and she took that moment away from him by making a joke at his expense. For those of you who need a little bit of clarity, okay, let me not put the cart before the horse. So he has this moment where he's discussing the spool of wire that he has had for 40 years, and it has come to an end. And he has attached that with he's correlated it with 40 years of his life that is gone. Right. And not in a bad way. It's just that, you know, it's been 40 years. This thing has been with me for that long. And it wasn't even an attachment to the wire. It was what the wire represented. It was the time, it was his life, it was the time spent, all of the different moments. Is all of that wire had been with him for 2 decades. That same spool of wire. I don't know what kind of wire that was. Maybe he was an electrician or something. But in any case, he was just sort of waxing poetic about it in a moment of sort of just opening up, you know, to someone who's supposed to be his partner in life, somebody that's supposed to understand that, someone that's supposed to be empathetic, or, you know what I'm saying? If you didn't have anything to say or you didn't know what to say, then it's fine to have said nothing and say, okay, baby, what I'm saying? Just came out here to check on you. You know, I'll leave you to your thoughts, sweetheart. That would have been a better response, because he wasn't really asking her anything. She came out to ask him, why he was outside and why he was, sort of seemed like he was in a mood. And so to get back online by yourself to tell the world, oh, he's all right. You a dismissive little heifer. He's fine, but he's not there to say he's fine. And then now when that gets confronted, when the people in the comment section is like, what? You know what I'm saying? You out here looking crazy in these streets. Now, I guess you had a talk about how the internet is attacking you and you ain't do nothing and da 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 da. Now you're looking to this man that you didn't care to have a kind word for, even though this is your husband. Now you want him to defend you against the world. You want him to come to the same internet place that you thought it was okay to post something like that about him in the first place. And now he has to get on the internet to cover for you. He has to get on the internet and tell the world that somehow, some way, it was his fault, or he has some accountability in the fact that he was simply having a moment sitting in the backyard or whatever, porch, patio of his house, thinking about his stuff. That's all he was doing. Here you come with a phone. I don't know what this new trend is anyway with these so-called wives making their husbands their content, but doing so in a derogatory, doing so in a disgraceful and dishonorable manner, where they either trying to have the world laugh at him, or they trying to have the internet make fun of him or make him the bad guy somehow. Like, I don't understand that niche of content. What is that? What is that? That's marriage breaking content. To show the world how you've beat this man down, to show the world how you've taken the light out of this man's eyes. Like what? What's your problem? What's the problem? It's giving narcissistic traits. Oh, he'll be all right. Now tell the world you all right. You know what I'm saying? That's also like getting abused behind doors and wipe your face. You don't go out here and embarrass me, but you just got through terrorizing me. How I'm supposed to react? Now I'm wrong for the reactions. How I'm wrong for the reactions? Like, what? Not doing him any favors. This is how couples grow apart. You want to know how a marriage of 20, 30 years, and all of a sudden these people, they like strangers to one another, and they can't be together because they we just grew apart. I'm gonna tell you what, that's not paying attention. That so-called growing apart, that is done through neglect. And it can be benign neglect. It don't even have to be active neglect. What are you neglecting? You going through the motions of the marriage. You going through the motions of the house, the motions of cleaning, the motions of, maybe raising the kids, or the motions of things. But you've tuned your husband out. You've tuned your wife out. You don't listen to them anymore. You don't observe them anymore. You are not in tune to their moods and the changes. Because had you been paying attention to how they were changing, had you thought enough of them to have meaningful conversations with them, not arguments, not contentious, not going back and forth, not petty, grievances with one another, but having those heartfelt, we just connecting, you know what I'm saying? We just talking to one another. You stop being friends with your husband. You stop being friends with your wife. And this person becomes this strange person that you think you know, but all the while, right before your eyes, this person is changing. This person is going through things. And because you've been so dismissive, whenever they might want to bring something up or have a conversation or, or whatever the case may be, or have a new interest or whatever the case, and you're so dismissive, you're so nonchalant, it's nothing, and so they stop sharing things with you. They stop coming to you with maybe things that they're excited about, or a new thing that they know, or something they want to try, or something they thought about, because they know you're not even really paying attention no more. So they keep it inside, but the changes still are occurring. And what's also occurring is they're starting to realize you don't even really care. Like you say, we go through the motion of saying, I love you, babe, but you have not connected with me in a long time. And then you wonder why the sex suffers, because sex comes with emotional connection. It comes with the feelings attached to that person. You are attracted because you're not only just turned on sexually, you're turned on by the intellect and by the fire in that person, or by whatever other personality traits and things that was good about that person. You like that was attractive to you. And now all of a sudden you complain, you know what I'm saying, about who this person is. She strike me as the type of chick, always got some type of complaint, being well taken care of by a man who now shuts down. And you don't want to talk about it now, because when I talk about stuff, you either got something slick to say, or you got something, trying to be slick, funny, or whatever the case may be. I don't want to share my inner thoughts or something that might be, like, I don't want to share that with you because you're dismissive and nonchalant about it. Or you laugh at it, or you poo-poo it away, or tell me I'm doing too much, or whatever dismissive language you put to it. So why would I want to then continue to open up to you when you may not be doing nothing just horrific in the moment, but it's often the little chips that do the most damage, because they build up. And then it come to that point where, you know what? I don't even want to be with you. Well, what did I do? Now all of a sudden you blindsided by the fact that they don't want to be bothered no more. Y'all not know how to be married. And it's not even like, and I'm saying that not even as some type of like it's perfect patty, but it's like you gotta, but being married is a conscious thing. It's not something that you set it and forget it. It just go on automatic because y'all been together for X amount of time. The effort must remain the same. The effort must remain the same, because like any other thing, a marriage must be maintained. You have to do maintenance on your marriage. You can't just leave it. You can build the most beautiful home, but it's eventually going to erode. It's eventually going to be in disrepair if you don't never maintain it. If you don't never go back into the home to make sure that everything is okay, make sure the plumbing is still good, make sure no damage has occurred, or even if it make sure you catch the damage, before it get too bad. You can go in there and fix that wall. You can go in there and fix that leak. You can go in there, you know what I mean? But if you just build this beautiful home and then you never go back to maintain it, you just like, oh, You know what I'm saying? It still look like a beautiful home, but you ain't never went into it. Mold done got in the walls, and a leak sprung, and now it messed up the, you know what I'm saying, the day, whatever the case may be. And now when you go in that house, you don't even recognize the inside of that house anymore. How it get like this? Well, you never maintained it. A marriage is the exact same way. It's literally the exact same thing. The wedding is you built the house, but then what do you think? You don't have to maintain it? You don't have to maintain your husband? Well, that's what you think. That you don't have to maintain him emotionally. That's your job. That you don't have to tend to him. Tend to it. You want to be tended to. Check in with him, make sure you not tapped in. That's why he's able to change and able to do these things. You want to know, quote unquote, why these men, quote unquote, keep cheating? Is because you ain't tapped in. I didn't even know the affair was going on. Yeah, I just bet you didn't, because you so busy trying to have a petty argument about who washed the dishes last night. That was where your head was at. Jump down in the comment section. Let me know what you think. Like, share, subscribe to the channel if you have not. Once again, I'm your host, the Crimson Cure, and this was my perspective. Bye-bye, Crimsonites.